got home. So I will not be. I don't know. I don't know exactly how long the Bethesda stream was, but I'm excited because I was doing some shit, and I guess around the time when the stream started, I just got like a billion pings, and I was like, all right, either the patch is really, really good, and people are like, oh yeah, this is so good, Nephis, you should check it out. Look at this funny bug that they had. Or it was really bad, and apparently it's really bad. I didn't really look at everybody's messages, so I just want an honest reaction out of myself because I have no idea what to expect. We did have a class representative meeting with ZeniMax Online Studios, the devs, a couple weeks ago regarding some of this, but beyond that, I don't think I can say anything else. But yeah, I have no idea what to expect, so I think I'm gonna look for, sorry, these hoagies, the patch notes real quick. Okay, oh, okay, more pings, okay, patch notes. Where's the Dragonhold patch notes? Oh, that's PTS, right? Oh. Alright. I love how someone already has a too long didn't read. Okay, so this is the one I believe, 5.20. This patch will be great because with so many fewer players, server performance will be great. That's fucking hilarious. Bug deletes half the endgame population. Nephis, when I join PC, can I join your guild? Thank you. You can apply like everybody else. I don't know which guild. I have like 3 guilds. So let's get started, I guess. Oh, by the way, today was Gina Bruno's birthday, so happy birthday to Gina Bruno. That's pretty cool. Let's see. So, blah 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 blah. I think let's start with the Bethesda stream because I'm curious, and this is probably gonna be the longest part of the stream. I will put this stream up on my YouTube channel. No drops, right? Oh my god, people just want everything. All right, so let's get started with the PTS patch note live stream. I'm excited because I haven't seen Gilliam's face in a while. I heard he was on the stream. All right, dude. Let's turn the volume up. God, it's on.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Thank you.
Yes.
So much for joining us today.
Yeah, that's Gilliam. I think that's Gilliam on the left. I'm pretty sure. Imagine having to be Gina announcing this patch on your birthday. I feel like if it was my birthday, I would have like not worked, maybe. But you know, props to Gina for sticking through even on her birthday.
Live stream
Honestly,
that we're doing to discuss the Update 24 PTS patch notes.
SCP carry.
Today's stream. Oops, let me.
You would have called in for the week.
Today's stream, we're going to be going.
She has
through
a Dell laptop.
Changes that are in the patch notes that we published about a half an hour ago. They are in the PTS forum. Sticky at the top, also in the dev tracker. It's the 5.2.0 patch notes for, what is this update? Dragonhold. I was going to say skill.
Dragonhold.
I'm
Damn,
Gina,
skill breaker twice.
Community managers for ESO. I'm joined by Brian and Gilliam the Rogue.
Greetings.
Oh, he did it! He did the trademark greetings.
So before we get started,
That's hilarious.
It's
pretty cute.
Sort of come into the stream since this is
all right.
a little bit different than what we usually do.
So
doing
these are the devs.
Midweek,
I just want to point out, like, they actually, I think they just wanted to go over the patch notes, and clear up any confusions. I think that was the intended goal.
Monday.
So let's see if they clear up any confusion.
Monday stream.
Especially the D-swing
before
one.
we get started with you guys going through the combat changes, I figure we can go through and talk a little bit about some of the other things that we put into this update. So
some of the other things.
What?
It's also.
What does Brian Wheeler look? They did it. Yeah, it's her birthday.
Something everybody should be thankful for.
Aww.
What is that? What did he give her? It's chocolate?
Chocolate, go ahead.
Oh,
knock yourself
yeah.
out.
Oh, come on, dude. If it was Gina's birthday, I wouldn't have given her chocolate. I would have given her, like,
She's gonna eat.
Yeah.
fucking, I don't know,
No, I
dragon
didn't.
poop or something.
No way. I turned
Very,
20
boring
for
gift.
the 9th time or
Yeah.
something. So.
Anyway, everybody can say
Anyway,
happy
thank
birthday.
you. Aw,
She's been with us
appreciate
for
it.
forever. She's one of the
Yeah.
originals.
Okay, so they're getting the courtesies over. When's the bloodshed gonna happen, dude?
Like jerseys with all of your numbers on it.
1, 2.
Yeah.
We had
That'd be sweet.
soccer jerseys that had at least the year that we started. So
Yeah,
I
mine.
had a
I got a
07,
9.
I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
You were
One detail I missed just now. Gilliam has the older Mundus shirt on. Oh god.
I was a child.
yeah, you were still in school. It's fine.
oh well. So you had some announcements to make. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, that's okay. That you can always interrupt by giving me presents.
Okay,
So
noted.
totally don't mind.
Bride Gina.
Yeah. That's the
Bride's
strat.
work. All right, so let's go through some of the other things that are in this update. Again, we're just kind of giving people a chance to come into the stream since we just went live. This is a little bit different. So let us take a look at the patch notes
Natch Posts.
for today.
All right.
Boats.
This PTS
Pog.
patch notes. It's not live patch notes, by the way. So just
This
in
is
case it
PTS patch
yeah.
notes, yeah. Yeah,
Things
as
will
far as I
change.
know, the server is still under maintenance, so
Alright, so they got the
started
patch
a little
notes.
bit early for you guys.
Look, it's on the screen.
It's on the screen.
Oh man,
This is a read along, right?
we're just gonna read it.
We're
live.
Oh
gonna
god, I don't want them to read along. I want to skip the read along.
No.
No,
No,
we
no.
got
Okay, perfect.
monotone read it.
No, we're
Look, it's
not.
patch notes. It's really up on the forums. I'm scrolling it and everything, just like other people.
Isn't
do.
that image really cool?
It is.
I liked it.
I do. It's very nice.
I liked it.
So, do you want to say anything before we just get into it, or?
No, I think we should just dive in because we do have a pretty hard stop at 5:30.
Okay.
Yep.
So
That's,
let's see here.
my fault and his fault.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Sorry.
The stream chat was nothing but okay.
Family stuff. Yeah.
All right. Welcome to Elder Scrolls. Okay, that's great.
Come on,
It
dude.
introduces Activity Finder. That's cool.
it is cool.
Some
That's
stuff.
good. Some stuff.
Some stuff. Just close.
Blah
over it.
blah blah. Where's all the combat stuff? That's what they always do.
Uh-huh.
They're just giving me everything. They're just going straight to the
I'll run through
combat.
some of this stuff. So, New Zone, Southern Elsewhere. We actually showed this off on ESO Live last Friday. So this is sort of expanding upon.
Really don't like the
Elsewhere.
changes
There's
to Dizzy
stuff,
Swing. It's a
but
dead skill. I mean,
story
I don't know yet. Hold on.
going.
Let's keep going.
There is a North American character.
Gives me time to eat the
package, but
hoagie.
We are providing templates for everybody else.
Right.
I think there's a couple known issues if you're using a copied character. They're listed in here, whatever they are. So Season of the Dragon is concluding with this. You're going way too
Well, it's
fast.
just-
I can't even
it's
read it. You know
spoiling
what?
literally the
Keep
whole thing.
going.
You said
It's
keep
not
going.
spoiling. They know this is the conclusion. You have to put together. You are the worst at this.
Okay. We're
Forget
doing
it.
the
Just
mouse.
keep
Give her
going.
the mouse.
Just keep. You know what?
Give me
I'm
she
looking
gave
at
up,
my own
dude.
patch notes on this.
Trolls.
Forget
We're
it.
just- Look, we're commenting. We're getting to the stuff that we, you know.
Yeah.
I saw
This is
somebody-
why we're here, right?
I saw somebody asking. There's no EU transfer. That usually happens about halfway through the PTS cycle. So that will be coming.
EU players always get fucked on the PTS
Real quick.
Oh, okay.
for whatever reason.
Oh, you're
I don't know
All
why.
right, so we've also added new Frost and what are the other dragons? Scroll up.
Lightning dragons, frost dragons, and fire dragons or
Storm
something.
So again, this is something that.
Oh, I guess we already have fire dragons.
Are essentially exactly what they said.
Rumors of dragons that manipulate the flow of time. I mean, we have that in Veteran Sunspire, technically.
From the chapter, which is kind of cool.
Ooh, getting updated. Nice.
Yes.
Okay, I want to kind of fast forward.
Hey, you know what? All right.
As much as I enjoy listening to Gina.
Sets that we were.
Okay,
to
sets.
fill a couple niches with this. The top one here is for Magicka people to go
Yep.
zip.
Yep.
Give them some speed.
Magic users always
Major
complain
ex-
about not having
wait.
enough mobility, so
Okay.
we're like, hey, have some free speed.
Look, when you cast a damage shield, which anybody can do.
So the thing with that is, I think that's more of a class thing. Like, you know, Max Orcs have high mobility because of straight Templars and DKs have always suffered because they always have to resort to Mistform. So I don't know if slotting an entire set would be worth it. We'll have to see, I guess.
Especially in light armor. Then there's Dragon Guard Elite for the medium. This one
Dragon
has
Guard
sort of
Tactics.
a stacking kind of mechanic to it, where the more you keep wailing on somebody, the harder you're going to hit.
Yep, and we kind of kept the theme of the
Okay.
Dragon Guard where they're like gonna tackle the opponent from up front. Like you're gonna be fighting dragons a lot. You don't want to be by their tails because they're gonna wipe you around, or their wings
Watch
where they
the
slap
tail.
you all. Yeah, so we made this set like more frontal focused.
Yes.
Hmm.
Last
Okay.
one, heavy. Obviously, we wanted to be more tanky. And then, as you can see, as we're all just going through the patch notes bit by bit, as everybody always does, dealing damage with a non-heavy attack.
10 stacks after.
Basically, do heavy attacks.
Okay.
Yeah, this one's actually really cool because it's got a lot of stack gameplay with it. So like you can build up when doing normal damage
No one likes heavy attacking though. Like, oh
by
man.
just dealing direct attacks. And then whenever you heavy attack, you get this huge explosion of resources. So watching your resource bar go from very little to huge is awesome.
Then we get into the crafted ones, and this is where I get triggered. So this set is a really good set where it gives you everything you want when you're at high health, and it gives you everything you want when you're at low health. But it's only available by
What the fuck? Wait, what? Ancient Dragonguard. Max health, weapon and spell damage, weapon and spell crit. Okay, so it's like mechanical equity and other shit. Gain 300 weapon and spell damage while health is over 50%. And then you gain a bonus 3,460 mitigation while health is 50% or less. This set seems kinda, I don't know, bit strong?
The quest content.
Gotta experience it.
Nom 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 nom, dude.
How unfortunate that you have to experience
I had
a
to do
video
Fighters
game.
Guild. I get it. I get it.
50, I
I'll
mean,
do
that
the
free
quest.
mitigation for like...
Awful. You have to play a game,
Yes.
man.
But
Yeah, this is a
that
set of
is
a hybrid between Hundings,
Hundings.
Julie, and
Julie.
Fortified Brass. We took some of the most used sets and we're
It's
like,
weird, I kinda thought about
together and,
MA
give
for a
you little
second, I don't know why.
Hybridization, because it gives you all the stats that are relevant to your build regardless of that. So really good for just a catch-all. I want to wear this set.
Yeah, and the DoT did good jobs coming up with these sets.
Oh, yeah.
Starting to
Fantastic.
do what we can with making like some broad-based sets that everybody can use, but also so again going back to some niche styles of play. Corsair, he loves this name, by the way.
Yeah.
Daring Corsair.
We spent a lot of time on that.
I want the name.
Yeah, we were having large debates over what to call this.
Hold on, here. Reduces the cost of your weapon abilities by 10% magic or stamina. After casting your weapon ability, you gain minor heroism. Okay. Generating one ult. Okay. Effect occurs once every 8 seconds.
Like that.
It's like...
So this one.
Yeah, it's crafted as well. So light, medium, or heavy. It's going to be interesting.
Which is nice.
Focusing on weapon abilities, so non-class stuff. So if you aren't really sure what you're doing, it is a crafted set, so a lot of people have access to any weapon, so it's really easy, accessible. And then after you cast any weapon ability, you also get minor heroism. So
I mean, how do you not know what you're doing if you're looking at the set bonuses in the game?
Yeah, yes,
I
weapon.
don't understand.
That includes stabs as well as the
Yep.
regular martial stuff. New Moon Acolyte, just stats. Here's stats. Again, these are crafted stuff, so we want them to be useful as much as we possibly
universally applicable.
Mhm.
No more stamina magicka favoritism in this regard, at least.
Right.
We did take a little bit of a different approach with this one, with the infamous terminology that we use, Kiss Curse, or double-edged sword, where you get really powerful
Kiss
bonus,
Curse.
but also negative
Oh my
damage
god.
to offset that, so you get this really cool...
Yeah, exactly. Hold on. Vith and Twitch just made a good point. I think if someone is watching a PTS patch note stream, they know what set bonuses are.
but at the price. And in this case, your abilities are going to cost more. So sustain is going to be more relevant to your build, but you're
Kiss
gonna
Curse.
get a huge burst of damage.
Behind the scenes, they're looking at chords from the sky and praying to God that I guess they don't fall. I don't know what's going on back there.
Okay, so those are the new sets.
Lots of
That's
new
always
things to
good
collect.
Dies, titles, collectibles. Seems like they put a lot of stuff in because they didn't really put in an arena or a dungeon or a trial or a mini trial, whatever. On one hand, yeah, it kind of sucks that we're not going to have too much to do for PvEers. But at the same time, it's like I'd rather have them focus on the performance fixes that they've planned up rather than churn out new content, but each to his own. We have more time to cry, but they are adding in homes. Make them change the Lunar Champion title to the VMAW trifecta. That is PvE, right? Okay, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
Do it. Do what
Passing
we're doing.
through.
Okay, so the new homes.
New homes.
Lucky Cat Landing, Potent. Okay, cool.
Potato
Let's
Rat.
keep moving. Let's keep moving. Let me finish this hoagie.
That'll be for
And we get the final wing of that
Right now, there's
yes,
that.
God,
Lunar Champion house.
when we go down there. The final wing of the house.
Yeah,
has
that
been
came
getting
with
built up.
elsewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Now, base game.
Yes.
Usually we have a bunch of new systems and stuff that go in, but for this one, the team's been really focused on improving performance.
Yes.
And this is kind of the first of
Okay.
that big website article that we put out with the whole graphics saying, like, here's our performance plan. This update is the first in that. So we have the updated activity finder going in. It does say here the UI is still going to look the same, but there's just a whole bunch of code in the back end.
The timer is now 2 minutes when leaving a completed instance. Okay.
Yes.
It is also
Would
only 10
love
seconds.
To get some
I
feedback
care
on
about
that.
this one.
Okay, so they definitely
the
trying to optimize the time of the dungeon group finder. Battlegrounds, let's see what they did. Accepting your ready check for battlegrounds will now immediately send you to the background. Okay, repeated ready checks happen with only 1 or 2 players not accepting them. It's pretty annoying. The battleground will continue to find replacements for players that declined or timed out a ready check. If the battleground cannot find at least 3 players per team after 5 minutes, the battleground will close. Nice.
Round one.
Sort of like in Dota 2, where like if somebody like disconnects early in the match, it doesn't count. So everyone can just leave and find a different match. So that's pretty cool, I guess. Really looking forward to seeing how this plays out. I'm going to hotkey leave and drop right before the last boss dies. 2 minutes is crazy. Yeah.
Ready, just go right in. You don't need to wait for all 11 other people to say, yes, I'm ready too. So that's pretty good. We know that that may have some cases where you see the battleground trickling in by bit. So that's what some.
I'm going to skip forward a little bit.
Getting stuck in the purgatory.
Yeah, with the 2.
This section of the Tether Finder has been removed.
So they've been doing a lot of good work at.
We found it was very rarely used. Yeah. I don't think most people even knew about it. Or if they did know about it, it's like completely useless.
Dungeons and battlegrounds.
Oh, let's keep moving. Okay, whatever. 3-piece item set update. Okay, this is gonna be huge as well.
Styles?
Yes, more
Yeah,
stuff for
that's
you to
my
do.
Oh my
jam.
god, weapon styles.
Love them.
Yeah.
He actually tailors his character.
Alright, so they're updating 3-piece item sets. Looks like agility got changed. Max stamina and
For internal.
Yeah, I spend
through
all the
endgame?
time
Yeah.
going
more weapon damage.
Gotta look good.
Gotta look good.
Endgame is vanity.
Yes. So this, 3-piece item sets? This is actually
That's actually pretty interesting.
Slash making sure we get some standards applied, and we're applying this to 3-piece sets.
Yeah, we
which is
targeted
kinda nice.
3-piece sets because we have the least of them, so it was pretty easy to tackle them. And we noticed a bunch of
It's
them
actually
felt
a couple
really
3-piece sets are
comparatively to
pretty
5-piece sets.
decent.
So we took a look through the numbers. We have a new item set calculator that allows us to get the power budget of this stuff that we've been working on, and we've adhered them to that.
Yep. And this, I mean, this is also kind of like you see agility up there is one of the first sets that we touched.
Yep.
That back in the day was the hotness.
Right.
And it's kind of fallen out of vogue over time. So we
Yeah,
wanted
there's
to make
been
it
so
be
many
competitive.
adjustments to item sets and stuff, and those have
Yo,
really kept
potentates. Okay.
up. So
So here's the it's potato set again.
blessing of potatoes.
Yes.
Yep. Outcast item set.
Eagle Eye got updated as well. This one
Okay.
is one of our least used sets, but we're hoping that this actually gets it buffed up.
That's gonna be an interesting set for
The
sure.
niche expands a little bit more.
Yes.
Max health recovery, okay, whatever. Grace of the Ancients. Oh my god, okay, whatever.
Got debated a bunch internally when we were talking about, hey, this is really good. It's like, yeah, but again, getting to look, see, people are noticing in chat. Blessing of potatoes, they know what's up.
Blessing
And
of
then there's
potatoes.
willpower.
Okay, willpower as well. Got
So
the same
a lot of
treatment
those
as
are
agility.
3-piece sets that have been out there for a long time, and they had to get updated. Undaunted Celebration.
Undaunted
that's
Celebration.
An event that's coming a little bit later this year, so we have that enabled for testing during.
3
this year.
tickets a day.
And then also some.
I actually just stopped grinding those
updates,
tickets,
not for
to be
PTS,
honest.
but for when
Oh,
we
it's
go live.
permanent.
They only care with PvP. To be fair, they're taking both into consideration.
30-day campaigns from now on.
It's kind of hard to balance both at the same
The 10 to
time.
49 one. That'll
Some would say it
But,
is
all the
impossible.
campaigns, they will be 30-day, and there'll be 2 30-day CP campaigns. One of them will now be non-alliance locked.
Correct.
So that's the big news
You
for
can dig in.
campaigns. Yes, so you can dig in, get the.
They scroll too fast, you should read it. I've been reading it.
Rumble in the jungle all day long. Be crazy. Housing stuff.
Okay.
Oh, that's known issue.
Doing the queue,
Activities are
okay.
Known issues.
Yep.
Okay.
So you can probably skip over a lot of the DLC stuff. Again, this is just the combat team, well, some members of the combat
Okay,
team. So
combat gameplay soon. Combat gameplay soon. Here we go. Fix an issue if you get stuck in
God,
the
you know what?
corner
There's
of the wall in
somebody out there that
Ribbon.
kept getting stuck in that wall. That's like, whew.
There's actually a few walls you can get stuck in still. I don't know if they know. I should probably let them know about it. Class was already useless in PvP apart with bombing. While in the PvP zone, take X% reduced damage from player resource damage over time abilities. Easy fix. So what seems apparently easy to us may be a little bit more complicated behind the scenes, as far as I know.
Oh, a developer comment. This is about the Necro.
What's the point of developer comment? Okay.
We're in the next
We are allowing shocking... Okay, Siphon is like the most fucking annoying PvE ability I've ever had the misfortune to use. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I'd rather fucking heavy attack constantly than try to get Siphon to work on boss fights in PvE and in trials especially. I fucking hate it. Like, it's my least favorite skill ever. I'd rather heavy... You can hear me again. I'd rather heavy attack than try to use Siphon. Fuck me, dude. Alright, so let's see what they did with Shocking Siphon. We're allowing Shocking Siphon and its morphs as well as restoring Tether and its morphs to bypass GCD. Okay. We're currently working on alternative methods to improve the targeting for these abilities as well as improving the reliability of created corpses and durations, but are not ready to implement them quite yet. Okay. We are aware of the frustrating nature... Motherfucker, yeah, I am frustrated. Oh, Jesus. Alright, I'm attempting to use these abilities, which is why we have added a small stopgap measure in the meantime until we can solve the issue. Okay, so it won't count as a GCD if you try to proc it. So I guess that's sort of good if you fuck up your rotation, because, you know, a skill that should be working 2 patches ago isn't working. So I guess that's okay, but at the same time, they didn't completely fix the fucking issue. Sorry, Siphon just really... bothers me. Alright, let's keep going.
Are you gonna read your developer comment, or are you just gonna
guess.
be like...
Mag NB is not useless in
I know
PvP.
there's some stuff going on with the Necro.
Yeah.
Since
Short
Necro's
thing.
out, we know that there's
What
been
rule do you
some
play?
targeting
Play nice in
issues.
chat.
Stuff with corpses kind of decaying pretty quick. The bomber doesn't necessarily
Respond
as reliably as we'd like him
He
to.
questions his existence far
Yeah.
too frequently.
So these are issues we know that are oh God, I want to say plaguing.
Sorry, I have to chew. Alright, so let's go over the Necromancer's changes. Because Necromancer is definitely a class that's of interest to me. Boneyard, they increased the base cost of the ability and its morphs to 4,950, up from 3,780. And decrease the damage per tick by approximately 33%. Okay. Frozen Colossus, this is a big one. A lot of people PM me this shit before I got to the stream, got to my table, got to my house. This ability and its morphs will now only apply major vulnerability to enemies hit by the final smash rather than any enemy. This will reduce the total duration 3 seconds down from 5 seconds. I mean, it was expected that at one point they'll probably nerf the fuck out of Stamcrow in PvE. So it's going to be interesting how this is going to affect raids. Probably it's just a straight nerf. Let me allow that real quick. So that's a pretty important change. So as for whether it's going to actually play out in terms of, okay, the raid composition will change, we'll see. Shocking Siphon, decrease the dot of the ability and its morphs by approximately 33%. Okay, so it doesn't cost anything. It's not a GCD. Okay, Skeletal Mage, decrease the damage per hit of this ability, its morphs by 50%. So overall, pretty much just straight nerfs to Stamina Necromancer, particularly. So we'll see, we'll keep going.
Necro, I know this is terrible.
Why are they nerfing of the skills? Colossus needed, but the rest don't need to be killed. PvE,
These are
PvE, some of it was sort of needed.
some
But
things that-
obviously this is going to kind of screw over PvE progression groups and Veteran Sunfire when they're using all Stamcrows for Godslayer. So probably the best bet, if you want to smooth this Godslayer, this patch is probably the best patch to do it, maybe, before the changes come rolling through. It kind of sucks because, like, in Elsewhere, after the Scalebreaker patch notes came out, everyone was like, alright, this is the patch where we gotta get Godslayer. I think 2 guilds got Godslayer in Elsewhere, and then MC on NA got Godslayer this patch. And now we're looking at these patch notes, and I'm thinking to myself, well, should probably try to get Godslayer before the end of the next patch, or before the end of this patch. So, yeah, I don't know.
now for the Necro, and we're looking at addressing targeting corpses not expiring like lightning fast and other changes in the future. But for now, like, these are the changes we're working on for the Necro that we figured were sort of like the outliers.
Yeah, the main focus of this patch was the Tether Abilities. Their targeting is really finicky sometimes because corpses are constantly disappearing.
Sometimes. All the time. Alright? Let's correct that. All the time.
And coming in, and you have to kind of get really precise with your cursor. So we took them off the global cooldown so that you can just press the button as soon as you want to. And then there's a very short cooldown on that ability in particular, so that if you press the button in rapid succession, you don't just eat up all of your corpses, wasting all of them.
You also don't get the 310 error saying you've overloaded my...
Right, you also don't get crashed to the login screen.
Right, yeah. Let's see, a couple other changes. Frozen Colossus.
Yeah. Major vulnerability has been a very contentious topic. It's a very powerful, very powerful debuff.
It's insanely strong.
We kind of made this a little bit harder to keep up. We wanted it to only apply on the last hit, so when the Colossus is doing his big smash is when you're going to get the vulnerability applied instead of immediately. So your opponents in PvP will have a little bit more time to be like, whoa, I'm in trouble, I gotta get out.
Yep.
And then in PvE, there is going to be required a little bit more coordination.
Yes.
The reasoning for PvP is fine. The reasoning for PvE, it's like we're already coordinating the Colossus. I mean, so I don't know if it's gonna be hard. I don't think it's gonna be harder.
You can just fire it off a lot faster now, but we also did adjust.
Yeah, there's some base game adjustments that we haven't reached to yet because this is the elsewhere focused stuff, but we've heard a lot of the complaints about damage over time abilities being way too strong. Things are getting kind of stale in PvE and PvP with that, so we've reevaluated the standards that damage over time and their auxiliaries are bound to, so they're going to be doing about half damage than they were before. However, AoE dots, things like Endless Hail and Wall of Elements, will do the same damage as other abilities that are single target, but they're going to cost more now.
Okay, so just to clarify what he just said there, what Gilliam the Rogue just said there. I love how like they put his like game name, Gilliam the Rogue, instead of like his real name and his last name. Anyway, just to clarify what he's just said there. He means first they're gonna nerf the single target damage over time abilities. And as you guys know with Scalebreaker, AoE dots were nerfed. So what they're going to do is they're going to first bring down these single target dots, and then they're going to bring the AoE dots up to the new mark of where the single target dots are at. But they'll cost more. So resources will be a little bit strained.
Yeah, that's a case where sort of like the article that we put up where we've mentioned that our standards are not necessarily etched in stone. Like they can be.
The standards are more fluid, but the big thing is we want to make sure that abilities fit into a budget, that we can expect this much power from them instead of having a bunch of floating numbers and trying to balance in this massive web of complexity. At least we can have a little bit of consistency, and then players can also understand, oh hey, these are 2 dots, I can kind of use whatever is more favorable to my playstyle rather than, oh, I just have to use this one.
Yeah, so that will hopefully address some of the feedback we got from update 23 of the dot meta.
Yep.
There's one of those cases where we go, okay, yeah, we're gonna dial that back. Yeah.
Dial it back, dude. Oh my god, dial it back.
But Sprint is getting a kind of an overhaul, for lack of a better way to word it.
Welcome to the stream.
Into
I'm just eating a hoagie and talking.
Trying to make sure that we have good performance from abilities, not just the ones that you cast, but stuff that's core to everybody.
So I think this whole thing with the sprint thing is pretty cool, except, what is it? Like on foot sprint, mounts will now stop sprinting when their stamina is fully drained. I don't think that's good. A good change, like in terms of quality of life, especially when you're going across Cyrodiil in PvP or even in overland zones in PvE. I think they should have just let that alone, personally. But if they think that's like a bug or something that needs to be fixed, sure. But then they said, however, we've decreased the stamina cost of mountain sprint. Cool. and greatly increase both base stamina and base recovery for mounts. So at the same time, they're acknowledging the fact, okay, well, we know that how good it is, so let's try to compensate for it by giving your mounts a bit more base stamina and base recovery. So that's going to be interesting to see if it's just going to be the same as before. Let's look at the Twitch comments. I wouldn't be surprised if Mag is now better than Stam again. Most garbage patch I ever seen. Right? Alright, dude. Alright, dudes. I haven't gotten to the juicier parts yet. I've seen Necromancer. And straight up nerf, dude.
But we did fix some quality of life changes for it a little bit.
Let's skip forward a little bit.
Longer now, so the it's a little bit smoother of a
Wait, should they talk about
Yeah.
that for a while?
That does mean that mounts also got their sprint adjusted as well, sort of like what I was talking about, where their sprint bar also went through some changes. You can sprint on a mount a lot longer now.
Yep, base stamina on mounts is drastically increased.
But you will now not have that speed when you're out of stamina.
Yeah, now we finally fixed that bug where you could continuously sprint if you never let go of the shift key.
Yeah.
But we also increased your stamina regen, so when you're out of stamina on your mount, it starts filling up faster.
Yep.
So there's something that we had a meeting with our class reps last week, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was.
Fuck. Alright. What's she gonna say, dude? She's gonna be like, are you late? You're never late to the stream. Except maybe when I'm like done streaming. What you gonna say, dude?
And something you guys mentioned that I thought was kind of interesting, because they were saying, like, they were a little worried about this whole, like, I can't sprint anymore once I'm out of stamina, and how's that going to affect when I'm running around in Cyrodiil? And you were saying you can still essentially sprint,
You'll get
keep to keep.
Yeah, keep to keep.
Which
Not
is
like,
pretty
you know,
far,
from,
you know?
not like keep way over across the side of the map. It's like literally within your transit line.
Right.
So it's not that bad.
Just to
Okay.
give everyone an idea.
Yes.
So
How
Right,
much
and the
longer you have.
return stamina recovery will greatly help. So if you run out of stam, instead of waiting an entire minute for your bar to fill up, it'll happen over a couple seconds.
Yep, it's pretty
instead.
quick.
Yeah.
And then some of the other stuff we're doing for for performance. This is more on the client side. Is some of the effects from abilities are getting more aggressively called. So you're not seeing quite as much friendly visual clutter out there.
Right, we try and keep it focused on things that other players, like your teammates, if you, the tank, apply Sun Shield, your DPS don't necessarily care if you casted that. You'll still be able to see they cast the animation and the ability, but there isn't going to be as much of a dramatic flare of that explosion that...
I think this part is also a really good change in terms of performance for the game. However, from my personal experience, I've tanked, DPS, and healed. The worst frame drops, and like the however many times I have to reset the client compared to when I'm tanking or DPSing on the healer, excuse me, is ridiculous. Like on a healer, you see everything from your own skills, all the visual effects from your own skills more prominently than the other skills of your teammates, especially in trials. So that's why me as a healer, as a player that does healing in trials or dungeons, I have to reset clients more, and I have to also basically like suffer more frame drops than I would be if I was on DPSing or tanking. So I don't know. I hope that they're also addressing that part as well, not just here's more frames because you can't see other people's abilities as well anymore. So hopefully they address that part as well.
is reserved for the casters.
Those of you who heal in PvE know what I'm talking about.
Speaking of that, if you all
And yes, the Necro nerf was inevitable,
do an ability,
pretty
I
much.
really can't recognize when an ability is happening now. Like if there's a synergy I need to go activate, I'm used to seeing this, and now I don't see that at all. Give us the feedback on that, and then we can go back and readjust if we have to make it more clear. Hey, come click this thing, or that person has a shield on.
To go back to the sprint changes real quick, I see some people kind of asking why are you changing this? Again, a lot of it was for performance reasons.
Performance,
so
yes.
that-
Yeah,
Yes.
and when we're in there, it's handled more efficiently by the server, and sometimes bugs just get fixed when they use new technology.
Yep.
So some stuff we don't really want to retain. Like if it's a bug, it stayed there for a while because it required a lot of effort to fix until we were ready for it. In this case, it was just that time.
Yep.
That's a long time. I don't remember how. Wait, hasn't this mount bug that you can sprint at like 0 stam on your mount? Hasn't it been around since like fucking a million years? It's pretty hilarious.
And we do know that there are a bunch of abilities and sets
Yeah.
off of Sprint as well. So if you guys test those out on the PTS, let us know those are and aren't working. That also helps. We're pretty sure we got them all, but
There was a
Sprint
lot.
is a deep-seated mechanic that
It was
is,
pretty gnarly.
yeah, getting touched by lots of abilities in the game. So by all means, point that out.
It sounds like they
Yes,
dug through the old code quite a bit for
along
this
with
patch.
hard coding of Sprint, we did some champion abilities.
Okay.
That are more the passives that are just on your character at all times. We also gave them the same treatment.
This is an ongoing process, and will be maintained when the champion point system receives adjustments in the future. I think they're referring to like when they'll revamp the champion point system, maybe not revamp it, or maybe like change it. That's gonna be a pretty big task, in my opinion. So I have no idea what the timeline for that is.
To make it more performant on the server. So it's not checking every time you do an ability, hey, do I need to worry about that? Like
Less effects on your character, less calculations being constantly required. The server just knows, oh, hey, I have this. I'll keep in mind when I need to do the calculation instead of referencing and saying, hey, do I need to do this? Do I need to do this?
This is one that has been a bugaboo for people for a long time.
Updated tooltip text.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah, so we have tooltips now for actually saying...
Yeah, the tooltips in the game are very misleading. And I think Gilliam was like one of the more vocal people about that. I think a common saying he always said was, "Don't trust the tooltip." So I'm not surprised they finally got around to that part.
Majors and minors do, and it doesn't just say savagery. Like on your character panel.
Like when you cast Hurricane and it says Major Resolve, it'll actually,
what it does.
when you hover over Hurricane, it'll say Major Resolve. Oh, this increases your physical and spell resistance by 50 to 80, instead of just saying, oh yeah, this comes from Hurricane. And you're like, I already knew that.
I knew that, yeah. Here's some quality of life things. Arrows don't blink out of existence when you bar swap, thank God.
Jesus Christ.
Just in case anyone's wondering, it sounds like PTS maintenance ended a few minutes ago.
Oh,
so
Stun abilities such as Rune Prison or Petrify will no longer fail to stun targets that are not currently CC'd or CC, man. Cool. Fixed an issue, okay, with Break Stealth. Pets that cannot deal damage, okay. What? Have not received Dread Reaper during anger management. Okay, cool. Adjusted the standards from damage over time abilities. Okay. Scan 33% less damage. 60. Okay, so this is where he says it. Or they say it. AoE dots will now cost approximately 66% more resources per second to maintain than their single target counterparts, up from 30%. I would have to go on the PTS and see what the difference is like on a Breton versus Altmer, and for like Magicka PvE DPS especially. See what the difference is, like with the same sets like Sororia, Montresoro. But we'll see. We'll see how bad that is.
we are open if you want to start patching up.
Hop in.
We will still be on here talking
Yes.
through all the combat changes,
Yep.
but PTS is back open. So yay!
This one's
Oh god, I have so much to do on PTS
We
now.
made some adjustments to knockback abilities in the last update to make them a little bit more responsive.
and for like 2 or 3 days straight trying to
Right. We were in duels, we were in battlegrounds, we were using these abilities all over the place, and we found a couple edge cases where if you were falling off of a ledge or down terrain, that you could get stuck in some of these animations. So we made the knockback speed a lot faster, so you get moved immediately, essentially.
unless you CC break quicker.
Right,
Which is good.
and it lets you start moving faster. Right?
Yes.
That was
Okay.
the big thing is just make these abilities more.
I'm gonna.
responsive to get out.
What is this?
And then
What?
here's the big
Oh shit! I thought it said something different over here in this part. I thought it said healing over time abilities no longer adhere to damage standards, and now there'll be unlimited orbs and unlimited healing streaks. But I read that wrong. All right, let's skip ahead because I already read all this shit.
36% cost increase compared to live. One that
see.
I've been trying to get for a while. So
Player source snares are now additive with movement speed rather than multiple. Okay, cool. Good news for I guess 1vxers and smaller
movement
groups.
speed, in terms of snares, is now additive with other movement speed bonuses instead of multiplicative. So before, if you had 30% snare and a 30% expedition, you would assume as a player, oh, 30 minus 30 is 0, so I just move at normal speed.
Oh, yo. Auras from abilities such as Ebon will no longer fall off for allies when bar swapping from an active 5-piece bonus via weapons. God. That's what you want. That's been an issue for quite a while.
I'm going to give you the 30% speed.
Most of the 1vXers will quit because of some of the changes this patch.
So you were actually reducing your total movement speed by even more than 30%. So now snares will be way less effective in terms of like feeling like you just can't move.
Less snares is good.
Yeah.
Many sets for the physical that we sort of combine that into. Just
Okay, so 0.5x armor.
Yeah, spell and physical resistance.
With less variance in these stats.
Bonuses, sometimes you only get one, but not the other.
Yeah.
And then it causes like this big parity between.
Okay, yeah, that
physical and spell
that
resistance.
actually
I want to get both to the same value, but I can't unless I wear these.
actually, I think it's a decent change.
So kind of just condensed them. Yeah.
Gina's getting a buzz.
Gina's getting a buzz, dude.
Now to get to a little bit.
All right, classes. Holy shit, that was a long ride. That was like after almost 30 minutes of the stream. Ebon and Mountbug gets fixed same time. Coincidence. Here it comes. Rip DK. Why are you guys saying rest in peace? Is it something bad? Like I heard. Well, I didn't hear, but on my way home in my car, my phone was going off like it is right now, like ding 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 ding, bing bong bing. And I'm like, okay, either the patch is really good, or it's really bad. And I'm going to assume it's the latter, so I was like confused. Alright, so Ardent Flame. Fiery Breath, this ability and its morphs now last 10 seconds at base, up from 8 seconds. Okay, increase the base cost. Man, okay. Reduce the damage per tick of the dot portion of this ability by approximately 47%. This morphs bonus flame damage now scales off of your spell damage 1% for every 333 spell damage you have, up to a maximum of the original 10%. Yo, DK tanks. Is there anyone in chat who's a DK tank? So goodbye to your engulfing flames, boys. So I don't know. Okay, just to clarify this change, engulfing flames. Right now, a DK tank can apply it if you have a magic DPS composition PvE. And the magic DPS will gain an additional 10% more flame damage bonus because you're using engulfing flames on the target. And now they're saying, okay, if you want that 10% fire bonus damage on target, you now need to have quite a bit of spell damage. So for a DK tank to have, what is this? Over 3k, at least 3k, I'm terrible at math right now. At least 3k spell damage. Oh man, that's So I guess you could technically get to over 3,000 spell damage as a Dragon Knight tank, but it's like you're gonna have to sacrifice if you want that 10%. But then at the same time, for trials, for most groups that are optimized anyway, you didn't have DKs apply engulfing because it's all stamps. So at the same time, this is more for 4-man content at this point. Whew, man, that's...
We are looking at some of the long-standing...
Yeah, hold on. Let me read the chat. They took away only... Okay, I didn't get to that part. Engulfing Flames Rip for DK tanks and PvE, okay. The Elder Scrolls DK Online, clever alchemist time. This is nice DK identity. Okay, so here's the thing. If they're doing this, it's like for PvE raids, it's like they're saying, okay, now you need to bring one magic DK. But I know some groups, including the Godslayer Progression Group, we tried out one magic DK for Zens, with Zens. I don't know if you guys are aware of the set Zens. So it's kind of leaning towards the direction of, well, if you want that, you'll bring a magic DK. So this sort of opens the option, kind of, for not bringing for not bringing a DK tank. But then again, I don't know if it's a mag DPS composition. You probably don't need DK tanks anymore, because the two primary things DK tanks give: minor brutality and engulfing flames, in terms of passive buffs, and debuffs. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes for recomposition.
I wouldn't say.
To answer your question, Skio, does that mean the DK casting it has to have high spell damage? Yes, that's the first part is correct. So if you're a DK tank and you want to give the 10% engulfing flames bonus damage for fire damage on the target for everyone else in the group, you now need to have at least 3,000 spell damage as a DK tank, which is like, okay, let's keep going though.
See identity crisis, but there's a little bit of lack of identity for some of these classes that we're trying to address. This is not like the full. Oh my God, they're fixing class identity for all the classes out there. This is a stab at trying to address.
It's a stab, dude. It's a stab.
Outlying cases where
they took a fork and stabbed it.
These classes needed some love, and we'll be doing a more in-depth pass later on.
I feel like personally, I don't know about you guys. You guys will probably think I'm an idiot or something, or maybe disagree with me. But I feel like Dragon Knights in general, for the past couple patches, have been okay in terms of class identity and so on compared to the other classes. But that's just me. I don't think they desperately needed it. But
definitely an overtime thing as we cement things out with like, this is how this class should perform. These are what we expect the ability uses to be and stuff like that. For now, we're just focused on like, hey, this ability isn't used a lot. It doesn't see a lot of attention.
Wait, which ability?
We can do something cool with this.
And a lot of the notes
Searing Strike
are reflective of the dot changes that were mentioned above as well. So
okay.
We're not going to go through like, hey, the cost of this one to this. Hey,
reduce the damage per tick of the dot by approximately 60%.
We've been hearing a lot about engulfing flames for Magic and Dragonites feel like it's being stolen from them by tanks, so we changed the scaling of this so that it now scales with your spell damage. So, your chocolates.
It's so distracting. I just gotta open it. Sorry.
So, engulfing flames.
I hope that's good chocolate, dude.
Nice. Busted.
You know what? You would do it too if you had
if you
I am actually craving some chocolate right now.
Milk and dark, yeah.
Earthen Heart. This is one where this is sort of a stab at identity.
Right.
Where we were like,
okay, a lot of you in Twitch chat were saying something about Stonefist or whatever. Let's read it. Meme of the day coming? Lady Yushi think this is a meme of the day. Alright. Stonefist. Rework this ability to be a stamina-based spammable attack. I love how there's like quote marks around that spammable attack. It now deals physical damage like it used to at launch since it's a rock. With a reduced range of 15 meters down from 28 meters. Increase the damage by approximately 66%, but no longer deals double damage if the target was stunned. This ability no longer stuns the target outright, but applies a stack of stagger to the enemy. After 5 stacks, the enemy will be stunned by the next Stonefist cast at them, including from other Dragon Knights. Oh, okay. If the target was stunned, all stacks of stagger are removed. Reduce the cost of the ability to 3.4k from 4,550. I don't know how to feel about this one. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about this one. It's a little weird. But I mean, like, wasn't the most asked thing, or sorry, wasn't the most requested thing like a stam version of Whip? So I guess like this is their answer to that. Like, okay, instead of a stamina morph of Whip, you're gonna get a Stone Fist. You're gonna get a fist. Gonna get a rock, dude. I can see how memeable this is. Oh my god. Alright. I mean, honestly, well, let's just keep going. I want to hear their reasoning.
That was like, oh, it's a Magicka spammable, but a stun. But I already have Lava Whip and Petrify, so I feel like this ability, as I level up, kind of falls out of favor. And we see that the higher level characters, the higher they are, the less they use this. So we're like, hey, this is a good area that we could potentially redesign.
Sure.
To give Stamina Dragonites one of their biggest...
I love how they misspelled morph. Dude, look at that. Gina must be like shaking with rage right now. She's like eating chocolate because she misspelled morph. Or they did misspell morph.
Which is give us a Stamina Spammable. So we decided, hey, the theme of Dragonite kind of like overpowering your enemies with a giant rock would be pretty sweet.
Yep. And Stone Giant.
Yep.
That's
and then
personally, I feel like a whip is more intimidating than hurling a rock. I mean, like, when I think of someone hurling a rock in the modern day, or even the medieval days, I'm just thinking like, well, like, what? Well, let's see how it goes. I mean, I kind of want to see what the Stone Fist is like on PTS. Okay, so they have two different morphs for it, obviously. Let's see what you guys are saying in Twitch chat. Stone Giant Mop. No one thinks it's pretty sweet. The theme of Dragonite with fire and poison is now a rock. I mean, molten like lava. You know what I mean? Like that was also one of the central themes of the Dragonite, like lava, fire, poison. You know, back in the day, there wasn't even a poison thing, except like I remember Stamny K's using the because there wasn't no stam morph of Searing Strike, so that was pretty funny. All right, so let's read the morphs. This morph no longer grants minor resolve after casting, but instead enhances a stagger mechanic where enemies affected take 25 extra damage from any attack per stack. So is there no cap on that? Okay. Like any attack. Like a dot. Like you can have like 20 people just hammer away at you, like 25 extra damage to every attack. It's interesting. Obsidian Shard morph. This morph remains as a healer focused ability. What? Increased the healing by 3.3% since it was missing rank up progression. This morph now deals fire damage instead of magic damage, and heals 2 friendly targets up. Sorry, excuse me. I'm not laughing because of the what numbers or whatever. I'm laughing because I'm just like in my head. I'm like, all right, dude. Like I'm just imagining myself healing a dungeon, and I see like a dude getting. I'm like, all right, dude, have a healer. Just throw a rock at his head. So it's like, okay. Jesus. Okay. So let's get that idea in my head. Alright, so those are the morphs. Looks like a lot of you guys don't like the Stone Fist change. And I don't know how to feel about it. Or rather, I don't know what to think of it, because I haven't been on PTS yet.
Within a set duration, they'll be stunned. And then the Stone Giant morph retains the behavior and then enhances it, and then for every stack of the stagger mechanic, they take extra damage from all damage types. So that was an attempt at giving Stamina Dragonite a unique utility option in organized group play, so that they could have something to say, hey, this is mine.
My thing for trials, yeah.
Can you stagger bosses? You can't stagger bosses, can you?
I think she's just trying to...
Wait, I completely... Staggering off balance and stagger is two different things, isn't it? You can stagger bosses? I forget, dude. I'm so ashamed. I don't know. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, so you can stagger bosses. Okay.
Let's see.
I was like, off balance. Wait, do you mean off balance?
There wasn't anything too.
Whoa! Why are you scrolling past? Yo, they're trying to silence the knife blades, dude. Just kidding. Let's go back. They scroll pretty fast past knife. They're like, yeah, let's go past this. I need to go back. That's pretty funny. Oh, fuck, they scrolled pretty fast. Alright, here we go.
I think she's just trying to not chew.
Trying not to chew.
Alright, I'm gonna pause. Okay, so he tried to scroll past this part. So let's see what happens. Nightblade, Assassination, Teleport Strike, Lotus Fan morph. This morph now applies minor vulnerability to all enemies hit, rather than the original. Interesting. And they increase the duration of the minor vulnerability from Lotus Fan. They increase the damage per tick by approximately 47%. Okay. Aspect of Terror, fixed an issue where this ability and Smorfs would fail to display effects of enemy. Okay. Shadow Cloak, fixed. Okay.
Wasn't anything too crazy we were looking at with these guys.
Decrease the damage per hit of this ability and the Shadow Image morph by approximately 42% per hit. Fixed an issue where the attacks from this ability and Smorfs are heavily desynced from the animations. So overall, not really like actual changes except the Lotus Fan thing.
Guys, Shade. We did try to address Shades not being able to be used on key pieces.
That was fixed last update.
Yeah, but there's still like
there's still some weird stuff with their animations and their tooltips.
Yeah.
So before it looked like they were getting affected by Battle Spirit, the range extension and reach and anything like that, but it actually wasn't, and it was because the tooltip wasn't properly indicative of its actual range. So we've adjusted that now. We've also fixed a lot of the animations so that when the shades do an attack, it actually syncs up instead of looking like it's completely
weird delay, like when you swing, then the damage comes.
Yeah.
It was
so it's a lot of just like quality of life art stuff.
Yes.
And then some adjustments on.
Decrease the damage per tick of this morph by approximately 33%. For Twisting Path. Shouldn't have increased? Or is like my math wrong? Because they nerfed it last patch in accordance to the standard. So the standard was it should be lower than single target, but then they decreased it again. When they should be bringing it up to the single target. I think my brain's fried or something. Thanks for the sub, Nomadic Alpha. Nightblades are constantly getting changes. If you want to see a class that's rarely changed, look at name. Sorry. I don't know if that's sarcasm. So I don't understand the math behind the Twisting Path. If someone can clarify it. I'm pretty sure it got nerfed for Scalebreaker. In accordance with the standardization of the AoE dots. No one remembers. Shouldn't it be brought up with to the single target dots? I don't know. Maybe this looks really familiar. I don't know why this 33% part looks really familiar. Did they maybe like copy paste from the Scalebreaker patch notes? I'm kind of curious now. Oh my god, this is like a mental itch I need to like get rid of. Someone look it up. Someone look at the Scalebreaker patch notes.
On how frequently they use their attacks to fit a more like pattern of like, oh, I can expect these attacks to come at this cadence rather than.
Okay, we got more. Siphoning. Cripple. Decrease the damage per tick. Okay, so this is a single target. Okay, yeah, okay, sure. Drain power, disability, and I just don't understand Twisting Path part. If someone in Twitch, I can look it up. Disability and morphs now grant major brutality and sorcery at base. Okay, this morph now also reduces enemy spell damage. So it's like mending. But I'm curious if this. So the weird thing about the mending set, the AA healer set, mending mage, or was it healing mage? Is if you proc heal near an enemy or boss, it reduces your weapon damage. So I'm not sure if reducing their spell damage is going to have the same effect as reducing their weapon damage, and this applies to all the bosses, like in terms of what the damage they produce. So, like Rakat, you would figure he has only spell damage, but mending actually does apply to his light attacks or whatever, and I think. For Assembly General, the bombardment is magic-based damage or fire-based damage, but mending still reduces that, even though it's weapon damage reduction. So I'm not sure how power extraction is gonna work. You're a better agent than Liko. We actually have many videos coming out of our meetup, so look forward to that. Let's see. Doesn't the other morph of drain power reduce weapon damage? Does it? I know shit about Nightblade, so why they hate one of the most fun classes in the game. I don't feel like... I don't know how to describe it. I'll get back to you on that one.
This is a nice one.
Yeah,
okay, so let's explain it, Gilliam.
That grant brutality or
I don't care about that.
Both at their base function.
Tell me about power extraction.
So all of the abilities that are class specific, not weapons or guild skill lines, only class ones, will grant both. And then in that case, drain power before was like, hey, I'm gonna drain the weapon damage of my enemies and then give it to myself. Well, now that it gives you both, we're like, hey, it should also.
Oh, okay. So it reduces both weapon and spell damage. I was like, okay, what? So Bob was right in chat. Like we were thinking the same thing, but we were mixing it up. They just added the spell damage portion to the already weapon damage portion, the reduction. So that's interesting. That's gonna be interesting. Okay.
Their spell damage. Yep. So now it has that.
For trash fights, especially in Sanctum of Video.
This is where we.
Okay, Sorcerer. Woo! It's like one of the most popular classes in ESO. If the forums are anything to go by. Or if the rage clips of, I don't know who that PvP streamer is. Marcy or whatever. I know a lot of people hate Source. Alright, so Daedric Summoning, Charged Lightning Synergy, okay. Was not applying the Major Berserk to the Atronach it came from. Summon Unstable Familiar. Reduce the damage of this ability in its more basic attack by approximately 17%. Increase the cost of activating it. Whew, that's pretty steep increase. Yeah. Okay, that's like 1500. Okay, increase the duration of the special activate to 10 seconds up from 8. Cool. The base cost of summoning these abilities have been streamlined to 3,510. Let's keep going.
Get into another case where people are saying, give us some stamina.
Yeah.
Identity, right?
Okay, so they're going to risk stamina sort class identity.
But I think the big
Oh,
one.
what the fuck? Why would you scroll? Why would you scroll down?
Yeah.
But
Okay, I don't know why you scrolled past that one, because I was reading it. Summon Unstable Clan Fear. Morph. This morph's damage now scales off of your... what is it? Hold on, sorry. Off of your max stamina rather than Magicka. Decrease the cost of the special activate to... Okay, so they slightly decrease the cost. AoE attack now deals the same damage as the basic attack but hits in a 6 meter radius, up from 5 meter radius. Fixed an issue where the AoE would cause... Okay. Okay. Let's see what they did with the Wing Twilight. Okay, so they finally gave us Stam more for pets. But... I'm not sure how effective it will be in PvE. I mean, for Stamsork? Because they did forget to... I know that they forgot to put the bound armaments change in the patch notes here. So I'm not sure which will win out. The new bound armaments or this. I'm thinking bound armaments, possibly, over the Unstable Clan Fear, especially in PvE. Is it just max stem or does it include weapon damage because you don't exactly stack up a ton of stem on DPS? Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to go on PTS. Let's see. Stamorph will still be Magicka cost. Where does it say that? It doesn't say anything about costing Magicka instead of stamina. The new bound armaments, it's so unoriginal, we want new things, not just another relentless focus. We'll see what happens.
I think the big one for these guys.
They also changed Twilight.
Yeah,
I don't know.
right?
You scroll down.
So we went down. I know there's some pet stuff, but I think
Just some pet stuff, dude. Here, let's keep going. All right. Increase the heal the ability and the Twilight Matriarch more to be closer to the heal power rush ceremony. Wasn't it like already? No. This will result in a approximately 87% increase. Approximately 55% increase for the Matriarch. Okay. They just, whatever.
the big one.
Storm Calling, Bold Escape, Fatigue ability will now only apply. The fatigue from this ability, so if you successfully streak too many times in a row, it costs increasingly higher Magicka. Only if you successfully teleport 1 meter or more, instead of whenever you activate the ability. Streak has been pretty buggy lately from what I've seen. So maybe this is like a way to address that. The pet activation costs Magicka but uses stamina for damage. Oh, okay. That's interesting. That's probably going to be fixed if that is unintended. Okay, so let's keep reading. This ability and the Ball of Lightning Morph no longer stuns targets in the... Okay, but instead targets in the 6 meter radius at your final location. Fixed an issue where you become stuck in place. That's a big one. I know a lot of PvPers have been complaining to me. That's... Like, Streak is fucking broken. Like, why isn't this fucking skill fixed yet? It's been way too long. And I agree, like... It's kind of ridiculous. After attempting to cast this ability where any of its morph when the target was outside your line of sight. Ball of Lightning Morph, okay. Okay. Adds 2 seconds of snare and immobilization immunity. That's pretty nice. Streak.
For these guys.
This ability now creates a cone behind you after casting that damage and stuns enemies inside of it. A 40-degree arc with 17 meters rather than being a 4 by 15 meter rectangle. That means the ability will require more precise aiming when attempting to land on top of an enemy. Well, okay, so when you're running away... Okay, that's an interesting change as well.
Besides, well, shit.
I don't know if there's any max source in Twitch chat.
Yeah, was
full
pretty
disclosure,
I think-
yeah, for a while it was.
Oh, they're gonna talk about
a
it.
lot of cases where it would get stuck.
Yep.
You try casting the ability, and your character would appear to just be rooted, and you
Yes.
try and move, and the game was like, nah.
No.
It was getting stuck trying to validate ranges and stuns and all these line of start stuff or line of
starts. Those are good.
Line of
too.
starts.
line of sight,
Line of sight
starts
checks. Yes.
and checks. So we've updated the ability, and in doing so, we've changed some of the functionality
Yes.
so that the server can properly calculate when it needs to. So
Yeah.
the base ability and the ball of lightning morph, instead of stunning when you first press the button, it's going to stun when you land. So wherever your end position is, it's going to stun in a 6-meter radius instead of a 4-meter radius from where you started. So it's going to be a little bit more offensive. And then the streak morph, we tried to keep as much of that original
Everybody behind you
gameplay,
type of
right?
thing.
Like
Yeah.
I'm streaking through the enemy, but we did make it a little bit harder because now it fires a cone instead of a rectangle, so that will play a lot better with the server, and it won't fail a lot of times when you're fighting.
He was supposed to say fuck. He's like, it won't fuck around with the server. I could tell.
Yeah, essentially any wall where the ability could break. So now that's pretty much fixed. Haven't been seeing any of that in our repros or playtests or anything like that. So looking pretty good in that regard. And then do you want to get to the really cool Stamina Sorcerer one?
I'm
The
just
really
saying
cool Stamina
something
Sorcerer one.
Interesting. I know you were talking about it, but I don't see it. Do you?
Yeah, they forgot to put it in the patch notes.
Oh,
It's not there.
it's not.
All right, let's get lightning splash. Increase the. I like how G. Oh, let me move. I like how Gina's like looking at the chocolate block. She's like, I didn't mess up, dude. And then, like, that's pretty funny. Lightning splash. Increase the base duration of this ability and moves to 10 seconds, up from 8 seconds. Increase the base cost to 4,950. Okay, wow. Oof. Okay. Reduce the damage per tick by approximately 30. I don't get it. Okay. I thought there's supposed. Like, it's the same thing for Twisting Path. Or was it already? Or are they just like? I guess they miswrote it. Because it doesn't make sense for them to nerf it again, nerf Twisting Path and Lightning Splash again. So I don't know.
There.
We missed the patch note.
I missed a patch note.
Aw.
Okay, so there's a thing that's not in the patch notes. You're gonna
Well-
hear it here first, kids. Oops.
Feels bad, man.
That's
feels
why
bad.
you couldn't find it. It's
So,
not even there.
bound armaments.
Bound armaments. Yes, that weird stamina sorcerer morph of a tank ability that
Thing.
doesn't really make it a stamina morph. That
Right.
one. Yeah, so that one has been completely redesigned.
Yep.
So instead of giving you block mitigation for a short duration after activating it, what it's going to do is you're going to activate the button, and for the next 40 seconds.
Okay, hold on.
anytime-
I gotta address something in Twitch chat. Did they bring in Gilliam thinking we wouldn't get as mad at him because his videos helped us so much in this past? Also releasing this on Gina's birthday, so we want to get mad at her. I can assure you that they didn't intend it like that. I don't think. I think that's just a coincidence. But I can assure you they don't do things like that. But it's a Monday. PTS always comes out Monday. Just so it happens to be Gina's birthday doesn't mean, shit like that.
You do a light or heavy attack, you're going to summon a spectral weapon,
Little weapon will pop up.
above your head, a bound weapon. It's going to be a dagger.
Okay, so they're talking about it.
And then
It's
you
like
can carry up
Mark
to
Holden
4
slash
light
Spectral
attacks.
Bow.
So up to 4 light attacks. You can activate the ability whenever, though, but after reaching 4, you won't generate anymore. And then if you press the button again, all of those daggers are going to shoot out your opponent one after the other. It's a really cool ability.
It probably looks pretty
the goal
cool,
with that was
even though it's
give
not very
Stamina
original.
Sorcerers
Maybe
a button they can press and say, "Hey, this is me. This is getting into my playstyle, like mixing."
I don't want to.
my martial
I'm
prowess
not even
with
like
my
fit
ability
to work as
spellcast
an
and
MX.
all this like
Manipulate the
arcane
ethereal,
knowledge and exactly all that cool stuff. So like a hybrid between those. So that one's really fun, having a
Yes.
lot of.
Sorry,
And
we
then
missed the patch note.
I was
yeah,
gonna
Sorry.
say, it'd be cool is if we
Sorry.
got a patch note
If
for
we
that.
get a patch note
We'll,
for that.
we'll do
We'll-
the
we'll
patch
get
note.
that in
We'll
there.
get it on there.
I'll make sure we get that after
Yes,
this.
yes.
And then it'll still give all of the same passive slotting stuff. So
Small
while you're
Daedric
on your bar, you'll
daggers.
still
Man,
get the
people
attack
spoiling the
damage,
PTS for me.
and the light attack damage.
You guys are mean.
Are you reading chat and laughing?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, I think she's reading Twitch chat.
We are back on Templar now.
Templar. Who's a Templar in Twitch chat? Let's see what happens, dude. I heard most of the negative stuff people PM me when I was driving home. Like at a glimpse was like DK for the most part. Something about like whip or whatever, but it turns out they just stone fist now. But Templar, I haven't really heard much about. I did see a couple comments in my Discord earlier, like "Rip, rest in peace, Templar or Magplar." So let's see what they changed. I'm kind of curious.
And that kind of goes back with
Okay. Okay.
the knockback,
Yeah.
position stuff adjusted.
What else? Yeah, okay. Disability. Okay.
Yeah, so that in that case, it was just an
Okay. We can properly consider direct damage attacks. I think I just saw a video just now in Discord that it doesn't scale. It's not considered direct damage in by the Master at Arms CP right now on PTS. So that's gonna be that needs to be fixed by week 2 PTS.
Our gap closers are supposed to be 20
Okay, so it's
meters,
not going to be affected by thaumaturge. They're basically saying.
battle spirit and stuff like that in terms of getting the range, because getting CC'd from 36 plus meters away is really frustrating. And then the other thing is the ability was missing some flavor, so we just allowed it to bypass mitigation, so it has some kind of unique function, kind of like Critical Rush always gets a crit.
Yep. And
Okay.
Strikes.
Interesting.
Sweeps. You know, we made it so it actually
Dude, those javelins might hit a bit hard.
the snare.
Right.
Overall thoughts on DK DPS changes, both Mag and Stam. My initial thoughts when I read the Engulfing Flames change was probably we're gonna have to bring a Mag DK. And that Mag DK for every raid composition, whether it's Stam or Mag, is gonna be wearing Zen's Redress. If you want your tank to do Engulfing Flames and still get that original 10% debuff, remember it's like 1% per 333 spell damage, then it's gonna be a weird tank setup. I mean, I could probably make a setup that works for dungeons, but it's gonna be kind of weird. You're gonna be sacrificing quite a bit. They're basically saying, okay, for raid composition, just definitely consider bringing Mag DKs if you have a Mag DPS composition for sure. DPS wise, Mag DK. The cost increases, I don't know. The Stam DK, kind of funny. I can see why people are memeing it. The Stone Fist changes and the Obsidian Shard change. It's fucking hilarious. I mean, I'm still chuckling about it. You see a dude dying and you just throw a rock at him to heal him. That's pretty funny. But let's keep going.
Right. We've been hearing a lot of feedback on puncturing
targeting is
snipes on
difficult.
right. It's really hard to land on opponents until you land the final hit, and then once you do that, then it's really easy. So we're like, okay, well, we can kind of fix both of these problems simultaneously by bringing down the snare potency, but allowing the snare to apply every tick instead of only on the last hit. So it'll be a lot easier to hit this ability. And then the other thing too,
That's actually a
is
decent-
that we
decent
fixed
one.
this ability being this weird hybrid of damage over time and direct damage.
Because you didn't know whether to put it in Psalm or not.
Right,
Yeah.
because it would give you a bunch of conflicting information. The one thing is with a bunch of our older item sets, is the way they key into figuring out if an ability is direct damage or direct damage over time is not up to date. So as we go through them, we will be fixing a lot of these bugs.
Yes. Spear shards. They're again the damage adjustments.
Yep, just another
Oh,
damage over time.
okay, hold on. Let's not roll over too fast, boys.
Adjustments.
Yep.
Okay, so Spear Shards was also affected. Reduce the damage per tick of the damage over time portion. I don't know what's going on. Twisting Path, Lightning Splash now. Shards? Can someone clarify? If the math is... maybe I'm like fucking freaking out, or not freaking out, but like tweaking out. I don't understand how the math works. They nerfed it in Scalebreaker, and then nerfing it again, but they're supposed to bring it up in line with the single target debuffs, or single target dots. So I don't know what's going on in these patch notes. It doesn't. It's all part of the AOE dot changes. 50% more cost, 30% less damage. I don't think that's what they're intending. That's kind of weird. So I think these are like really, they either mistyped it, or maybe like there's some like magical math wizardry going on that I just have no clue about, and my Asian ancestors are looking down upon me with shame. But I'm willing to bet it's probably the former. I don't know, dude. It's kind of weird.
Just another damage over time adjustment here. Backlash.
Backlash. Power to light.
23. And some of those changes weren't as clear to people. So we updated the effects, but we also adjusted some of the functionality of it.
This
too,
light cannot
where
be
it's not,
stopped. It can't be purged.
Right. A lot of times this ability was like, okay, I'm going to spend all of my resources.
Oh, okay, wait.
to
The
build
heal
up
overtime.
stamina,
Never mind. I thought they were talking about
and
power to light.
these other
Jesus
things like
Christ.
crit and crit hit damage and stuff aren't going to effective, and it greatly reduced the potency of the ability in situations like PvE, where Stamina Templar and other Templar classes using this ability were like, I should just run a dot instead. So by allowing this to crit, it can fit into a more fluid rotation and feel more impactful of the Templar class. And then I think we also hotfixed. Yeah, Eclipse was the other
Living
one.
Dark. Oh
We
my
also
god, Eclipse.
hotfixed the issue where Backlash would reach its
I know that's been like
and then
a very
it
sore
was
pain
super
point for
confused
PvP users this
the rate.
patch.
DPS is so high that it'd be like,
I can't copy that.
that's too many zeros,
Yeah,
dude.
I can't copy
so
it.
that's been fixed too. So now the ability will always explode.
Yes. That,
Okay.
I'm not going to say what we wrote up internally for that, but
I got ping again in
there was a
Discord.
note where Templar DPS needed a little bit of love.
Yeah.
Templar DPS in the middle of PvE? They're not doing bad. From last time I checked, at least. Alright, well, let's keep going. Solar Barrage, increase the duration of this morph to 8 seconds, up from 6. Decrease the damage per tick by approximately 30%. I'm seeing it again. I don't understand. Increase the duration of this morph to 8 seconds. Okay, whatever. Sunfire, fix an issue. Okay. This is actually a pretty cool thing, because someone in a Discord server told me about this bug, and I forwarded it to them. So this, I'm glad they fixed at least this one bug that I noticed so far. Fix an issue with a major prophecy from this ability, and its morphs would only occur if you dealt damage rather than upon activation, as its tooltip states. I think it was a PvPer who told me this. Pelican, I think. Increase the base duration of this ability and morphs to 10 seconds, up from 8. Increase the base cost to 29.70, up from 23.76. Decrease the dot of these abilities by approximately 60% per tick, so a single target dot. Okay, let's keep going.
This is all dot adjustment stuff.
Dot adjustment stuff. Do you want to go back to the Eclipse?
Oh god, he zooms too fast.
Where we improved the visual
Wrote up internally for
limit. And
Oh my god, I missed it.
yeah.
Reduce the damage per tick of this morph by approximately 32%. So again, I don't know if it's... I'm not gonna say anything.
It's all dot adjustment stuff.
Dot adjustment stuff. Do you want to go back to the Eclipse one quick? So there's some cool stuff that we did with Eclipse where we improved the visual.
Yeah, it was Stam Crow and Macro was... Stam Crow especially, I think. Or rather, Stamina Necro compositions will be definitely nerfed next patch for Sunfire. It's like major vulnerability only applies on the last hit of the Colossus, and that brings down the major vulnerability duration from 5 seconds to 3 seconds. And their reasoning for PvE, their reasoning for PvP was fine. Okay, it gives some time to react for PvP. Because I've been on the end of the major vulnerability stick in PvP. It can be nasty, but at the same time, for PvE, they said the reasoning was like, oh, you know, it's going to require more group coordination, but I don't think it's going to be as hard. I don't think it's going to be harder to keep up, personally. But I mean, if you're in a group that already organizes major vulnerability uptime, you're still going to get it done. And at the same time, the other straight nerfs to Stam Crow.
Telegraphs, where now
Get Godslayer Dispatch.
Different visual experience between which morph you take. Living Dark, the one that you apply to yourself and heal, will be a golden orb that you can immediately tell, oh hey, this is my heal orb. I know which morph I have. And then Unstable Core will look a lot more similar to what it did before, except we've updated the base ability to show you intensifying visual effects depending on what stage. So the first stack that you have when you're only snared, it's kind of like this little like shadowy aura around you, and then the second time when you get immobilized, you get this shell of an orb, and then the third attack you're completely engulfed in darkness. So you have this cool transition of like, oh wait, I'm at stack 2, I'm at stack 1, I need to back off and kind of wait until this ability falls off.
Oh, there's Healthy Sync.
Alright,
Healthy Sync
Warden.
is something that
Oh wait,
we've been
they're
trying to
still
figure
on
out.
this.
On a more more global scale.
Yeah,
of the
we've
game.
been having a lot of problems with like sync data and stuff like that. Where
Health
we're
desyncs
finding
have been
issues
getting
fixing
worse
them
in
as soon as we
PvP,
can.
for sure, and PvE, in certain instances of PvE.
Warden, this one,
Animal companions.
this is a fun one.
It's
with
a fun
the
one?
patch, as well as sort of what we did with
What?
the Purge.
Oh, okay, the base ability.
Yeah,
Never mind.
so, like we were talking about earlier, we updated
Oh.
the class ability.
Oh, that's a nice one right here. These abilities now remove one negative effect from you every 5 seconds instead of per cast. Yo, what the fuck? Okay, I'll take it. I mean, okay. Reduce the duration to 19 seconds for 22 seconds on the base ability. Okay, fair enough. I mean, thanks for the free purge every I mean, what was that, like 3 free purges at least?
Abilities like
Blue Betty
Paladin
Niche.
Sorcery to give
And you also
and
get
in doing so,
that.
we were like, okay, well, these should also do something else as a class ability to
Yes.
kind of bring
Okay,
out
so the blue betting niche will still give Magicka back. Reduce the final duration to 25 seconds down from 27 seconds. I know how Gilliam likes his even numbers. So that's like 5 free purges in total. So that's a pretty good Warden class skill change.
that flavor, and we really liked what the Magicka morph of the Blue Betty did, which was purge one negative effect, and we're like, well, that's kind of...
Oh, that applies now to Stam Wardens.
Stamdens.
What its
A buff
function-
ability.
yeah, it's supposed
Okay.
to
We're like, we can kind of give this idea of like the Netch is siphoning these negative effects from you and make that a base game experience for all Wardens using the ability, and then each morph takes it into the Stamina or Magicka, very similar to Templar's Rune Focus.
Okay.
And then we just adjusted the duration so it lines up with
Yeah.
the every 5-second cadence.
That actually kind of got born from the dot meta discussions where a lot of people were saying Templar's best in slot because they get the best purge,
Purges,
and we were like, well, other
Yeah.
classes do have a purge, but we wanted to give
What?
them a bit more of a flavor to them. So that's sort of
Right.
where giving them the
Hold on. Other classes get purges? Hold on, dude. I'm trying to think of a class besides Warden and Templar that gets inbuilt purge. I don't think DKs get a inbuilt purge. Necro gets inbuilt purge, I know. Okay. Nightblades? Not really. I mean, isn't it dot mitigation and cloak? So, Sorks, do they have... What did he mean by all the other classes have access to class purge? What the fuck? I mean, they do. They do have access to purge if you level up Alliance War or buy it from the ground store.
repetitive purge over time. Pretty interesting. For dive,
It's pretty
this
hilarious.
one, we felt like it did.
Okay, so this is actually something that was mentioned on the forums before all this Dragonhold stuff came out. This ability has received new functionality to help it stand alone as a spammable, but has received some reductions. Okay, whatever. Reduce the damage of these abilities by 10%. Increase the base cost by roughly 270. If you are at least 12 meters from the target upon dealing damage with these abilities, you now set them off balance. That's going to be interesting. This morph no longer reduces the cost of the ability beyond the standard stamina cost reduction. It now applies a bleed to the target for 7 seconds if they are off balanced, which can stack up to 7 times. Bro, what? So far, like, all the other class changes were like, okay, meh, or like, But Warden is like, okay, we're getting somewhere. I mean, what the hell?
Didn't have as much extra added.
Right, it just felt
functionality
like
to
a
it, it's
button
just
that you
damage.
pressed. Yeah,
Right,
it
it's
felt
damage.
Okay, well, calm down.
Where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, it just does damage. It has like a cool visual story, but the gameplay element isn't very dynamic. Doesn't make me feel different. So
Yeah.
before a lot of its
What
like,
the fuck?
stats were-
Hold on. These ability, Swarm now applies minor vulnerability to a target for the duration of the dot. After 2 years of being dumpstered, Warden finally gets some good news. This is not good news. This is like terrific news. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Hold on, I gotta open up the patch notes, dude. Hold on, dude. What the fuck? What's going on? Oh, man. Let's see. Okay, so like after going with them over like the class changes, Dragon Knight, I don't know what to think yet personally because I haven't gotten PTS yet, but like some of it, meh. Nightblade, Lotus Fan, I don't know about it yet. What is it? Fucking Twisting Path. This I don't know what this means. Like they applied this thing, decrease the damage per tick. I don't know what the math is behind that. And the other AoE changes. Sorcerer, meh. Bound Armaments, you guys, according to you guys, isn't that great so far from those of you on the PTS, but I haven't personally tested it yet. But other than that, like every class change so far has been meh. I mean, Templar got some like okay ones, like the snare and the backlash, but like Warden so far is like getting all the good news. Like it's kind of weird to see it happen for Wardens.
Like enhanced to make up for the fact that it was very bland, and instead we've kind of moved away from the just making it a stat stick and making it more gameplay field. So now it's if you're 12 meters or further from the target, your Cliff Racer just smashes into them and sets them off balance.
Right. And we did get feedback from the reps. About
That's insane.
If we could
actually, the more I think about it.
Right.
So that's where PTS feedback's going to come into play. Of what feels better? Is it the 0 to 12 or the 12 and beyond range? Like which one feels better for causing things to be off balance?
Wait. He's saying he wants PTS feedback on the range of the off balance from the Cliff Diver. Bro, everyone's gonna say 0 meters. Like, like. Or I mean, like I would say anywhere between 0 to 12 meters. I would say I think 6 to 8 meters. I think would be a good spot personally. Like yeah. Like I don't know what you guys think, but I think 6 to 8 meters would be a good range for that kind of thing. Let me know what you think about what the optimal range would be for Cliff Divers proccing off balance. I'm interested to see what you guys know. So you can proc Zon. Oh, okay, that's a fair point as well. Actually, I wish my Cliff Racer would smash into Gilliam's neck and then there's... Jesus Christ. Same distance as Rending Slash? Well, we'll see.
That, you know, shock, like the combination of that plus shock seems a little weird because that's a close quarter range attack versus this, which is distance. But
right.
That again is some of the feedback.
He sort of touched on it
from PTS. The usage of this, do you use it more for playing a Bobo build, or are you know,
using
melee
this up in someone's
trying
face?
to use it as they're closing? Right. And Swarm didn't feel very...
Hold on, you skipped that cool stamina morph.
Oh, the cutting dive one?
Yeah, the cutting dive one. So this morph
stacks up to 7 times.
Boring cost reduction and now gets more gameplay.
It gets what?
It gets a bleed anytime an enemy's off balance. So it has self-synergy. You the base ability, hey, sets them off balance, and then cutting dive says, hey, when they're off balance,
hold on. I'm pretty sure
so what you can do...
Pretty sure the Warden change for dive is base ability. It's not just for stam, it's for mag as well.
Is what I found to be really fun in a rotation is as soon as the enemy's off balance, I just stop everything and I just spam dive.
Yep.
And you just see all these bleeds stack up and you're like, damn, that feels good.
Yeah, it actually, it kept in the rotation too, which was the important thing, that you didn't feel like you're building up to it, and then at that point you're like, okay, now I'm going to...
No longer... Okay.
Kind of nice. It gives... It's not necessarily...
Yo, Swarm, like... damn.
But it gives them a clear cut.
Right,
you
the
can,
dot
you
is
can
low
lead
enough
up
in
to
damage
this.
that it's not going
Throwing Swarm
kill someone, but it will give
deals bleed damage, but it's like impact on AoE, okay.
They have like a lot of bursts, but they don't
I kind of want
have
to skip
that
ahead a little bit because I kind of read it.
Swarm wasn't too swarmy.
Being ripped apart by these bugs, you're actually being swarmed, and you're affected by a vulnerability, so a little bit of love in that regard.
You know what other bugs swarm me every time I play the game? The bugs. Not swarm, but the bugs.
Solo play. And then the growing swarm morph, the morph that used to expand after it completed to find new targets, that one wasn't hitting the mark in terms of the gameplay feel we got. Right. It felt very delayed.
It's like we get the idea that you want to spread, but it just didn't feel like that. It wasn't effective enough.
It wasn't that immediate sense of like,
okay.
wow, I'm seeing it grow. So
I kind of want to get them to talk about Arctic Wind.
Morph, and then in this case, now it just does damage in an area around the initial target that will follow them for much less damage than the initial hit. And the visual effects on it are real.
Yes. Winters. This is kind of a mix.
They
feedback we've gotten, and we kind of put some old functionality back in.
Arctic Wind is kind of...
The Warden self-heal ability used to have a function where it would do damage to nearby enemies, and that got removed quite some time ago during some like experimental stuff, and we thought that it was a good time to bring that back with some new functionality. So the base ability will now once again do damage to nearby enemies. You have that nice chance to apply the chilled effect. And then the Arctic Blast morph, the one that makes it more CC focused, instead of doing the projectile attack where it was like I heal myself but then I need a target and it stuns them and it felt really weird. Now it takes what Permafrost used to do. Notice how I said used to. It inherits that, and now enemies who are hit 3 times with the damage over time get stunned.
More stuff for you, Gina. Are you paying attention to your Warden?
Probably not.
Increase the damage per tick.
I told you before this started. I saw there was a nice nerf to one of my...
I mean, so far Warden changes look fucking great.
Permafrost, what we did with that was this was the morph where Arctic Blast inherited, so Permafrost doesn't stun enemies anymore.
Oh my god, thank the fucking lords. Okay, the Permafrost no longer stuns enemies for a hit multiple times by the effect. Unblockable, by the way, but instead increases duration and ability. Wait 1 second. Increase the snare potency to 70% though, so... in each tick of damage now applies a chilled status effect to enemies hit.
What it does
is the PvPers out there.
Duration, so you're going to get damage and major protection for you and your group mates for a little bit longer. It increases the snare potency back to the original 70%, and then every tick of damage applies the chilled status effect to enemies. So it feels like this big freezing storm coming over and like hindering your opponents instead of just completely shutting them down. So you still get that cool feeling of like, I am the storm, I will stop.
I am the storm, dude.
Shut down.
Right. See, weapons weren't necessarily a hard focus.
Reduce the dot of car by 60%. Alright. Critical charge. Reduce the damage. Okay. Momentum. Okay. Reverse slash. Fixed an issue where the AoE damage of this ability could critically strike. Oh man. Since the initial hit can already critically strike, this was effectively allowing the attack to double crit. Ah, oh, damn it, dude.
Adjusting the damage over time.
Right.
So there's been this weird bug that I've been getting from a bunch of players and friends where
what is this?
Animation
I think a lot of people in Twitch chat when I started streaming earlier today, they said something about uppercut. I didn't really read the Twitch chat at the time, but they said something about uppercut. Reduce the damage dealt by this ability and it's morphs by approximately 16% to ensure it does not eclipse other damage abilities such as dots. This morph no longer knocks the target back and stuns them, but instead sets them off or back. It doesn't stun them anymore? That's weird. I feel like this goes against the previous idea of Wrecking Blow used to do more damage and stun. Then they moved the stun from Wrecking Blow to Dizzying Swing. Then people switched to Dizzying Swing. And now the stun's completely gone. For PvP. I did see a forum thread complaining about Dizzying Swing being OP, but I feel like this is kind of going against earlier concepts of the skill. And I don't know what the point is. I don't know, like... I don't know about this change. Like, maybe it's okay for PvE, but for PvP, I don't know about that. I don't know about that one. It's OP because there's almost no channel time now. It's not OP because of the stun. The point is they have no idea what they're doing. It's as if... Okay, there's a lot of heated commentary on this. But yeah, let's keep moving on.
Wouldn't play. I finally figured out what that was.
Good. This one...
Ooh, we're getting to the one-hand shield, because I'm a little bit more interested.
Uppercut has been going up and down and seeing a lot of adjustments
up
lately.
And down.
Kind of gotten into a good place with our cast time abilities in terms of spammables, where
that came with Elsewhere, I'm pretty sure.
Within the global cooldown and not miss out on weaving, but in doing so, we have to make sure that the damage per second is more It's similar to other abilities like
Okay.
Surprise Attack or Force Shock. So we've been doing a lot of intense investigation on ESO logs and internal stuff and figuring out what is the right value for these. And
Intense
we're pretty
investigation.
confident where we are.
Alright, one-handed shield puncture, fixed an issue. Okay, that's okay, a bug. Dual wield, reduce the damage dealt by this ability and smorts by approximately 8% to ensure it does not eclipse other damage abilities such as dots. Okay, interesting. Fixed an issue where the heal from this ability was not properly increasing by 1%. Okay, so mostly fixes and adjustments. Decrease the damage per
And then the
tick.
other one was,
Wait, what?
We have this idea that CC abilities should
Keep going,
pair
dude.
with
Come on.
ultra high damage. Made it very. There's a lot of
Bloodthirst. Slash it.
Decrease the data. Okay, sure. Part of the standardization. Reduce the healing per tick of this morph. Okay. Blade Cloak increases. Okay, whatever. Base cost is increased by quite a bit for Blade Cloak. Again. Reduce the damage per tick by approximately 32%. Quick Cloak offers cost reduction, taking the base cost back to 3,780. Okay, just mostly adjustments.
Cloak.
Just all dots. More dots.
Only one sorting board change. Ballista. Scattershot no longer knocks back targets hit, but instead reduces their damage, or not, sorry, movement speed by 60%. Okay. Increase the base cost of this ability. I'm pretty sure you guys have a lot of opinions on some of this shit, like Draining Shot. What do you guys think about Draining Shot? Just got back. What do you think of the Dizzy? I feel very ambivalent about the Dizzy Swing change. I don't PvP much anymore, but back when I did, they switched. Just to sum it up, they switched, or they removed the stun from Wrecking Blow to Dizzy Swing, right? Because Wrecking Blow did both big damage and the stun, and then we chose Dizzy Swing, and then they're just completely getting rid of the stun. I don't know. I don't think that's needed, but whatever. Good change for draining with lag. Okay, cool. Alright. They increased the base cost of Volley, Endless Hail, Arrow Barrage. Decrease the damage per tick of these abilities by approximately 17%. So there must be some kind of math fuckery going on with their math. They must just, I don't know. Maybe the math is correct, but the patch notes doesn't really clarify that they adjusted the dots to become stronger, because all I've been seeing is that dots are getting nerfed. So they must have done something. The tooltips now properly mention their true duration.
This is pretty important though.
Yeah.
The draining shot change.
Yeah, so Scattershot saw some adjustments in the past couple updates to make it have a longer range, and then in doing so, we've been seeing a lot of that. And we also improved Draining Shot so that the heal is more reliable.
I'm gonna move forward here because I just read up to the destruction stuff. Nothing. It decreased the dot damage from destructive reach. Wall of elements. Increase the base duration. Increase the base cost. Reduce the damage per tick.
And Destro Staff.
More
again,
dots.
just dot stuff.
Soul Trap. Alright, this ability and its morphs will no longer fill soul gems if the target affected was a target dummy or critter. Whoa! I don't know. It's kind of a weird reaction, but I'm like, okay. What does this matter? Like, what? Sure. Okay. I mean, that's farming to fill soul gems with killing rabbits and shit, or killing a dummy over and over. That's some hard shit. I mean, I feel like they earned it at that point. So it's like, okay. Fixed an issue where the application of these abilities could not be dodged, and where each tick of the damage could be dodged. Ooh. Updated the visual effects to better line up. Okay, reduced it. Okay, whatever. Keep going. Let's keep going.
Soul Trap, hey, dot stuff.
Oh man, my favorite part is coming up.
Weird bugs
we
where
know.
it was working on critters, you could fill your soul
Yeah.
gems.
Oh man, I can hear some of the werewolf players going, "Yeah, Nephis is happy about more werewolf nerfs. Yeah, he's the reason why werewolves are getting nerfed. All right, he's elitist. Okay, let's keep going. Infectious Claws. This ability and morphs now immediately apply to diseased. Okay, and do disease damage rather than a hybrid of physical and disease damage. Decrease the damage per tick of these abilities by approximately 60%. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm gonna get shit for this, dude. Even though I have nothing to do with it. Claws of Life morph. This morph now heals for 100% of the damage caused instead of 50%. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get shit for this somehow, some way. Yo, werewolf players been giving me shit. I don't know why on the forums or whatever. They think like I hate werewolves, or that Outcast and I just fucking hate werewolves for some reason. I don't know, dude.
Here again. There was a little bit of quality of
Decrease the
life
damage.
with the Infectus
Okay.
claws.
Yeah, I'm gonna
They
get
did
shit for
something
this.
very
You
similar
mark my
to what they
words,
did with
stream.
Dragonite, where their Searing Strike will immediately apply.
How do you cut the
flame,
balls?
Very much like that werewolf will immediately apply the minor or the befouled status effect, which is minor defile. So just a little bit more love in that regard to kind of offset some of the dot nerfs that we made across the board.
Oh man, Trap Beast. I forget that's also a single target dot. Entropy no longer grants major sorcery. But the Sorks got their major sorcery back on Surge, I guess. I believe. Decrease the damage dealt of all. Okay. Reduce the base cost. Degeneration no longer grants Magicka back. It's basically like a mini minor Magicka steal. But continues to grant major sorcery for its regeneration. Kind of get the reasoning behind it.
It's kind of been like, I do a lot of damage and I give you sorcery, and then my morphs make me better. Auxiliaries.
I want to skip forward. What the fuck happened to their stream? Okay, there we go.
Okay.
Holy shit.
I wonder if oh god, I was hoping there wasn't a chord that I had to click there or something.
Bunch of animation fixes with mend wounds where your character would convulse if trying to target things you were
Thanks for
not
the
supposed
sub
to be.
gift. Okay. Warhorn. What? I didn't even know that it applied to friendly targets, actually. I thought it only applied to group members, so there you go. Cleanse. Reduce the healing for negative effect of this morph to 5%. So a lot of people used Cleanse for the dot meta in PvP, and it was healing for an extraordinary amount, from what I recall. So this is their response saying, okay, we see how much it's overperforming, and here we are.
It's just
Yeah, a bunch of abilities in the
Lingering health
point
potions.
system and item sets got updates, so they actually have visual effects
Okay.
when they go off now. So like the Synergizer passive.
Shield play enchantments no longer grants bash cost reduction on the enchantments. Okay, they are now called bracing rather than shield play. So it's only it's only block cost reduction instead of bash and block cost reduction. That's kind of. So there's no bash cost reduction left anymore. Like, it's kind of weird. Potions that increase your physical or spell resistance no longer grant major resolve, major ward. Instead, grants a unique value of resistances. For PvE, this is kind of irrelevant for PvE tanking, so I'm not really gonna. It's whatever.
Item sets.
Unless maybe like I can see a potential use for maybe like medium or light armor tank builds or something, but even then, it's like I don't know. What's the point of Dragonblood? Yeah, that's what I thought, Maps. And thank you for gifting the sub again, Storm. Love you. They nerfed my werewolf bash build again. Okay. Item sets. Let's look at item sets, because I know you guys have been saying rest in peace IA. Oh my god, please tell me they didn't do anything with IA. They kind of indirectly fucked IA this patch for Scalebreaker, because now you can only proc the minor vulnerability with a Resto Staff. The first tick of the heavy attack. It doesn't take off the first take of the heavy attack from lightning staves anymore. So that's kind of awkward to find out. Affliction fixed an issue where the set would not update its tooltip when you had points spent. Okay. Bark skin. Okay, whatever. Blah blah blah. Blood moon increased the light attack damage bonus of set. So I guess they're kind of offsetting the nerf to werewolf a little bit. Kind of. Not really. Reduce the cooldown. Okay, that's a fair change. Your melee light attacks no longer need to be critical damage in order to generate a stack. That's pretty cool. So Blood Moon got slightly buffed.
You're like, oh hey, I know when this goes off, like bark skin and stuff like
Sort of like completely now werewolf set.
yeah, this is a bit of our bad.
Like 110%.
Some of the stuff was like just going through when we're doing these.
Did you miss the change of swarm? No, I saw it. I saw it. Fortified brass reduce. All right. People who sell 4-man dungeon carries out there, you can't have your carries wear fortified brass anymore. They reduced the 5 piece bonus. I'm mostly just joking.
Sprint, we found a bunch of situations where
It should be
item sets
affecting
Let's keep going.
interacts with this.
Okay, Grand Rejuvenation. This item set will no longer grant 740 stamina to allies hit by the initial heal of Grand Healing. So, you know, Outcast and I brought it up on both our channels. We're like, yo, like, on the Scalebreaker PTS, like, look at this shit. And people, you know, at the time, people were saying, oh, you know, because of the healing screen changes, how you're limited to one Master Resto shit. And I'm looking at the Master Resto on PTS. I'm like, this is fucking broken. Like, Master Resto is fucking overpowered. 740 stamina back per initial tick of every healing springs or illustrious healing. That's so much fucking stamina back, dude. They had to address this at one point or another. Now instead it's going to be 100 magicka and stamina back to allies every second for 4 seconds. So this is also something I thought of too. Like, instead of just giving so much stamina back, why not just lower the amount of stamina and have it give both magicka and stamina back? Because then it won't just apply to stamina DPS rate compositions. It will also apply to magicka DPS rate compositions. So I'm really happy to see that they took the feedback on that one. So, but it's every second for 4 seconds, okay. So it's like, I don't know. It's kind of, it's 400 magic and stamina back for 4 seconds. So that's actually okay. I think that's actually a decent change, personally. I think that's a good balancing change, personally. Yeah, if people didn't, like Map said, if people didn't, in chat, if people didn't expect Master Rest to get nerfed, then they're crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy. It's vampire.
This is probably going to make a little bit of...
Fortified Brass was one of those sets that was like super stat dense, and it was very much like Hunding's Rage, where you just put on the set and it just gave you stats. So we brought the same power level of what you would expect out of Hunding's and applied it to Fortified Brass.
Was it OP?
And then we
in PvP?
Now instead of with the
Bro.
audit, because we also made that item set with the crafted set.
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Above
from above.
50%,
Yep.
you get the
And the protective
and
traits
then below
were
50%, you get fortified
good.
brass.
I don't know about brass.
To do, right?
It's a new
It's a
trap.
really good quest line that you definitely want to do.
I will
because it's
absolutely
awesome.
do it.
Yo, maybe they could-
Because it's going to make...
It's kind of fucked up me to say this. It's kind of fucked up me to say this, but I think they're like, it's OP because I couldn't kill this one dude in Battlegrounds. we'll edit that part out for YouTube.
Ooh,
Oh my
Grand
God.
Rejuvenation. So this one has been
Alright.
noted on by a lot of people that they'd like to see some adjustments because it's kind of enabling stamina builds.
Yo, hold on. Oh, they didn't touch Chudan, dude. Hail Chudan, praise Chudan. Fix an issue. They just fixed an issue. Alright, let's keep going down. Mining Glacier, Ravager. Fixed an issue where the set would fail to proc if attempting to use it. Okay, that's interesting. I think that's a fix that's been requested. I know Tremors in my Discord and in TRE, he's like, yo, this is still bugged, this is still not working, so I'm glad they at last fixed it for next patch after like 2 patches. Scourge Harvester fixed an issue where the major vitality buff was not properly being tracked by UI buff trackers or your character sheet. Okay. 7th Legion. I want to keep going down, because it's almost time to raid for me, it's like 27 minutes away.
But we've also, it comes back.
And you guys can stay tuned for the raid. Alright, okay, the set's down, okay. Swarm Mother, okay. I don't see anything about IA. Why are people saying rest in peace IA? Is it because of the Warden Swarm? You know, like thinking about it, I think Warden Healer is like significantly better than Templar Healer now. It's kind of been going that way. I think the Swarm thing kind of settles it. I don't know if that's what you meant. Let me look at Twitch chat. Because Warden, why do you need IA? Zen Warden. Yeah. So if I had to summarize my thought on the class changes so far, I think all the class changes so far seem meh or whatever. And the Warden class, I think Warden's got all the good news. I think they got all the love. So, good on them, I mean, I guess.
On the bridge pulling people off.
Yeah.
Okay.
That some of the delves in.
Oh yeah, this was also reported. Where Sword Mother could also pull people through enemy gates, or was it the Necro Armor? I think Wolf reported that bug through me.
So
is that it?
The big one here was that some of the
Is that it?
delves in Rockstar
Okay.
were giving a little bit too much XP.
Oh, they nerfed the XP. They nerfed the grind spots, dude. It's over. It's over. Wait, the Craglorn group content not provided. Well, so did they buff Craglorn grinding a little bit? Do I think Godslayer is even possible next patch? I cannot say definitively at this point in time, because let me see. Dude, I keep getting pings. Okay, my PTS finally downloaded, so I'll check later after raid maybe. And I think Godslayer is gonna be definitely harder. So it's like the repeat of the transition from Ellsworth to Scalebreaker. Every group is like, gotta get Godslayer fast, bro. And now it's like from Scalebreaker to Dragonhold, everyone's probably gonna be like, gotta get Godslayer fast, bro. Oh man.
Delves and Craglorn weren't giving similar XP to Skyreach, so now you can go to other places other than Skyreach potentially. So
right.
that's pretty pog.
Give you somewhere else to go besides the same circle over and over and over. A lot of monsters.
Okay, that's okay. Oh wow, that they just completely skipped over that.
There's not
Okay, so they're done.
Spammable.
Wow, that was a long stream. Woo!
like this decrease or this increase.
Thanks for sticking with me on the stream for that, guys. But let's go over the patch notes real quick before we end it. So just to summarize, the class changes seem whatever. Warden definitely got the better end of it for the first time in since Morrowind, pretty much. The dive, the off balance, the free purges every 5 seconds, that's pretty amazing. You still get stam and magicka back, and that purge still applies to you whether you're stam warden or mag warden. Cutting dive buffed, swarm buffed, winter's embrace, whatever. Sleet storm kind of balanced, and it's like I think this minor vuln thing is gonna now definitely put warden healer at the top. No question about it. Minor toughness, plus this, you don't have to wear IA, plus the already strong heal over time, plus the changed budding seeds. In terms of healing output, it matches Templar, and now it has this advantage. I think, yeah, it's a clear winner now in terms of PvE healer. It's probably gonna be the #1 healer class. The weapon changes, just your usual shit. Mostly adjustments. Soul trap. This change is still getting me. Will no longer fill soul gems. And going back to the whole stone giant thing for Dragon Knight, where the fuck is it? Let's see. So this is going to be the new Stam DK spammable, I suppose. And since stagger applies to bosses, it's going to be interesting to see exactly what the effects of the stone fist will be in a raid setting. Obsidian morph. Again, another hilarious concept that I just can't wrap my head around at the moment. You stone someone to heal them. It's pretty cute. What else? Let's just keep going down because I kind of skipped the end of it. Item set. So IA was not touched. The reason why you guys said IA was ripped was because of the Warden change to Swarm. Item set wise, whatever. This was definitely a needed change. The Grand Rejuvenation. Let's see. They skipped a lot of the monster things, which is not good because there was this one patch a long time ago where certain monster skills were changed, and people were freaking out because clan fears were jumping around the place. So let's quickly view it over for our PvE friends out there. Fixed an issue. Okay, whatever. Defender, Dragon. Okay, headbutt is no longer used. Flame Atro, Flame Atro. Lava Geyser no longer damages a target if the Flame Atronach was CC'd during the cast. That's actually a pretty cool change. For those of you who've been doing a lot of Sunfire, I think this is going to be a good change. Lava Geyser now requires line of sight to the target to start the cast. Cool. Frost Atronach. Okay, it's now likely to stop casting melee attacks. Or Frost Fist now deals frost damage. Snare applied. Oh, I didn't know you got a snare for standing too close to them. That's weird. Shock Fabricant. This is from VHoff, so let's see what happens. Fix an issue where static discharge could desync the monster's position on the client for its position on the server. Okay. Storm Atronach. Improve the timing for the telegraph on vomit for zombie mobs. Cool, dude. So not really significant ones, except maybe the fire atro change, which is going to be interesting. Crafting economy. This is also a part of the patch notes that's not really looked that much, but I'll still look over it for you guys before I sort of take a quick break before the raid I'm going to stream. Okay, Crown Store, dude. Crown Store. Dungeons and group content. Fungal Grotto. Dude, they're nerfing Fungal Grotto too. I called it, dude. This day has come. Shadow Tormentors. Oh, wait, they didn't nerf it. Never mind. They just don't give you XP. Shadow Pool and... whatever, dude. Shadow Pool and Death is your only escape. No longer, okay? Trials. Hellrot Citadel. Gargoyles will no longer try to attack players it cannot reach, notably on the battlements. Petrifying Below, okay? Eidetic Memory, Mementos, Furnishings, Homes. Yeah, okay. Witches Festival. And I kind of want to go back to the beginning of patch notes, because they completely skipped over the patch notes at the start, except the new item sets. I don't know, someone's been talking to me in Twitch chat about, like, you can buy inventory space or some shit with a pet? Where is that? Can anyone point that out to me? No? Okay. Collectibles. Maybe it's under here. Someone said something about pet. It is on the PTS, not in the patch notes. Alright. Let's see. Oh, it's gonna take so long to just get into the PTS. You get a link. It's in the Crown Store. It's on the PTS, not the notes. Okay. So, I'm not exactly sure what the details on that are. So, how many slots does it give you? It's a pet? Can you link it? Yeah, link it. Feel free to link in my Twitch chat. I don't ban links. Let me look at this. Okay. Thank you, Maps. Alright. Bristle Neck Warboar. That looks like one nasty dick boy. Okay. Originally from Solstheim, this tempestuous spore exists in 2 modes. Hungry and Hungrier. That's cute. It can carry gear. Purchasing the pet increases your inventory capacity by 5 slots on all characters account wide. So it just gives 5 slots? Just for buying it? Do you have to equip it? I guess you don't have to equip it. That's cool. 1 to 2 years before pets have combat stats. That'd be pay to win at that point. I don't know why everyone's freaking out. I mean, I think it's a cool way. I mean, I think it's a cool way to bring more inventory space in, but I feel like at the same time they have to actually address inventory space at one point or another. Maybe like 2 patches from now, maybe inventory space is once again running out on most people's accounts because more sets, right? More droppable sets that you don't want to throw away. More craftable sets, more precious whatever set items. So we might have to address that in the future. And inventory management is still a nightmare for some things, like see Unicorn said in chat, make siege stack. That's definitely, I think, like one of the things they can definitely do. Trust me, I know I have no craft bag anymore. You should sub. Also, most character slots. Yeah. But thank you guys so much for watching that. I am gonna go right into raiding in about 16 minutes. I am gonna take a break real quick because that was a lot of sitting around. Very sweaty commentary by me. But I'll be uploading this part of the stream up to my YouTube channel later, so other people on YouTube can watch it if they couldn't make it to the stream. So all in all, if I had to rate the patch notes so far for Dragonhold, just from reading the patch notes and not doing anything on PTS, so obviously it's going to be a little skewed. My rating right now would be like 6 out of 10, maybe 5.5 out of 10, somewhere around there for now.